On the corner of 25 West Main Street in downtown Vermilion. The Spot, Winnie Mays, is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The Spot, Winnie Mays, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, $90,000 were donated to Sanford's Children's Hospital.
Plus, some students are objecting to this year's USD commencement speech. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening, I'm Kyle Ireland.
And I'm Philip Larson. We'll bring you the reactions of a member of USD's CWC to the Derek Chauvin verdict. That and more coming up, but first, after being denied the exemption last week, Teoshape Student Council received a budget exemption for their annual Wachipi event at this week's SGA meeting. The organization annually petitions the Senate for an exemption. This allows them to provide competitive cash payouts to the performers who come to their event. The original budget request from Teoshape was $15,000 to be exempted for this purpose. After the exemption denial, they returned to the Senate with a request for $4,000 to be exempted. Talon Everson, the SGA Chair of Finance, says that he was uncomfortable giving such a large sum of money, of student money, to non-student performers. After the conversations on the Senate floor, the exemption was passed with a vote of 17-5.
Minneapolis was prepared for protests last night, but the city was quiet following a high-profile verdict. Yesterday, Derek Chauvin was found guilty of all charges in the death of George Floyd. Coyote News' Caitlin Sterling is live in the muck with reactions to this verdict in this Minneapolis murder trial. Caitlin? Seems to be we're having some technical difficulties with our live. Following yesterday's verdict, Chauvin was immediately taken to jail. He'll be back in court for his sentence hearing in about 8 weeks.
On Monday, the Bean hosted a vaccination caffeination event to encourage the campus community to get their shots. The organizers called the event successful, reaching their participant goal in just 1 day. 130 students received a prize for proving they were vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. The Bean is located in downtown Vermilion.
The COVID-19 pandemic didn't deter students' participation in this year's Dakotathon. The fundraiser for the Sanford Children's Hospital is held every year during the spring semester. Coyote News' Kyle Zimmer shows what it's like to plan an event during a pandemic.
Last year's Dakotathon was held online due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but this year it was held for 10 hours with a 5K color run. Carol Olson is the director of student programs and activities and says that safety has always been on the back of her mind.
Masks have been required at every indoor event, and especially when we do have the privilege of having our Miracle Kids with us, we've asked that everyone be wearing masks and use hand sanitizer before they go near them. We ask that everyone kind of follow university policy with social distancing. We've had to adhere to reduced capacities in our spaces. We've tried to make sure that everyone is staying safe by not hugging and high-fiving a whole bunch.
This year's Dakotathon was non-traditional as most of the events were held in the muck instead of inside the Sanford Coyote Sports Center.
This year we've had to shift it because of COVID, because we can't put 700 people in the same space on campus at all. So we've had to shift to a week of program, which has been really difficult. In general, we've had to spend probably 3 times the amount of energy planning a week of event.
Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Kyle Zimmer.
Thanks, Kyle. Dakotathon raised over $90,000, and all proceeds will go to Sanford Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. Phil, I wasn't prepared to see snow on the grass this morning. What can we expect going forward?
Well, the unexpected snowfall shouldn't be here to stay. Right now, it's a partly cloudy 48 degrees outside, with the low for tonight coming in at 29. Tomorrow should be overcast and have a 50% chance of scattered showers, with a high of 53 and a low of 34. Friday brings partly cloudy skies with a high of 62 degrees and a low around 35. Over the weekend, the skies should remain overcast. And that is all for your Coyote weather.
Thanks, Phil. State health officials report 157 new coronavirus cases, 6 of which are variants. The state reports the first official case of the P1 variant, which was initially discovered in Brazil. The Department of Health reports 1 new death in the last 24 hours, which brings the state's death toll to 1,954. Health systems have distributed vaccine doses to roughly 319,000 people. About 40% of South Dakotans have finished the full vaccine series. Governor Kristi Noem has signed an executive order banning government-issued COVID-19 vaccine passports in the state. She says the idea is un-American and would limit personal freedoms. Still to come on Coyote News, a high school food pantry is making a difference. Stay with us.
Lately, you might have seen one of these red stands around campus and wondered, hey, what's the Volant? Well, actually, it's pronounced the Volant. We've served as the student's voice since 1887. We capture the moments and the stories that matter and bring them to you for free on both digital and print platforms. News, verb, sports, opinion. It's important to you, it's important to us, because, well, we're one and the same. We're the Volant. Pick us up.
There is so much more to media and journalism than just those 2 words.
It's really shown me things that I never thought I was capable of doing, and I'm actually not too bad at it.
Even though you think you may want to do one thing, this major exposes you to everything.
The Media and Journalism Department has helped me turn my dream into a reality by putting me in the position to succeed.
This is Coyote News.
USD men's swimming and diving team won the team's first Summit League championship in school history. Coyote News' Darian Bolden is live in the muck to talk with the league's swimmer of the championship about the conference win. Darian?
Good afternoon. I'm here with Zach Kopp, a member of the USD men's swimming and diving team. How are you, Zach?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me out here.
So, the men's swimming and diving team has just made USD history. You are a Summit League champion. How does that feel, and how does it compare to any other win you've had in your swimming career?
It feels really good. It was an all-around team win. Everyone showed up and performed when they needed to. So,
what was the team's preparation like leading up to the championship, and how did the pandemic change anything, if it did?
With the pandemic, our championship got pushed back 2 months, actually. Normally it's in February, and it got moved all the way back to April, so much longer of a season than everyone was ready for, but everyone stayed ready and was ready to go at the end.
How did the support from the fans compare to any other year?
This was actually the first meet we were allowed to have fans, so it was great to see people up in the stands and fully cheering again.
With a championship hanging in the rafters now, what's next for the team's competition season?
Definitely. I think we're up and on to the next season and kind of seeing if we can't go back as conference champs.
Will there be any swimmers moving on to the next level to compete?
What do you mean by that?
As far as looking forward to the next Olympics or compete at the highest level for swimming?
We definitely have a couple of people looking, probably more looking at 2024, but you never know.
Good. That's good. So what's next for you as far as the championship, as you are still a sophomore?
No, definitely. We got 2 more years to train and hopefully have some more fun at the next 2.
Are these next few weeks, will they be kind of weeks to prepare your body and relax, or will you get back to training right now?
We're on our mandated 2-week NCAA dead period, but then after that, we're right back on to the grind.
All right. Thank you. I'm Darian. This is Live in the Muck with Coyote News.
Thanks, Darian. The women's swimming and diving team placed 3rd in the Summit League championship.
Recent changes in temperature have caused heating issues and cooling in North Complex. Half of the structure is hot, while the other half is cooler. USD's Director of University Housing, Kate Fitzgerald, says North Complex runs on a 2-pipe heating and cooling system. This means that the heat and the air conditioner can't be turned on at the same time. Due to the process of draining steam and pushing chilled water through the system, it takes at least a week to take the heat down and put the air conditioner up in North Complex. When the weather in Vermilion changes quickly between hot and cold, there's not enough time to change the system from heat to air conditioning. If students are warm inside their rooms, Fitzgerald recommends opening their windows in the morning and the evening to let in cool air, but closing their windows and the blinds while the sun is up.
Graduation and the commencement ceremony are the final steps for many students, but not all. A well-known speaker for the 134th USD commencement might change their minds. I had the chance to talk with this year's speaker to discuss the upcoming ceremony.
South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson will deliver this year's commencement address. Johnson graduated from USD in 1999 with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. He says that while many graduates probably don't remember the speaker at their own commencement, they're part of an important moment.
I think it is important to have leading voices in politics, in arts, in academia, in community service, speak to the graduates about ideas, about thoughts.
There's been some opposition to Representative Johnson speaking at this year's ceremony following his no vote on the 2021 Violence Against Women Act. Opponents say Johnson should know that 62% of the undergraduate students walking at commencement are female.
I don't think we want to overweigh the loudest voices. I mean, I think we want to, of course, give them their due and hear them out, but we want to put them in the broader context of what others think.
USD President Sheila Gestring says that it's an honor to have Representative Johnson speak at commencement.
The USD commencement ceremony will take place Saturday, May 8th in the Dakota Dome with COVID protocols in place.
Vermilion High School is running a food pantry program similar to Charlie's Cupboard. Coyote News' Kate Stratman has details on how the service works.
Tanager Takeout is a program made by Vermilion High School to donate food to less fortunate families in the community. The program is sponsored by Feeding South Dakota. The food pantry program offers students within the district to pick out food or personal care products. Children and parents pick out what food and drinks they want on Fridays from 3:30 to 5:30 after school. Tanager Takeout also takes place over the summer. With various shopping options for less fortunate families, they want to continue their mission even if it's not during the school year. Tanager Takeout Director Kelly Stone at Vermilion High School says they want to try new things besides just food every week. Last week it was school supplies, and this week they're doing healthcare.
Each week we try to do something a little different. Like this coming week, we give out health supplies for family. We give out school supplies once a month. And we get donations sometimes of clothes, coats, socks, things like that.
Tanager Takeout takes volunteers from all over the Vermilion community and within the schools to help out. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Kate Stratman.
To volunteer or learn more about Tanager Takeout, visit feedingvermilion.org.
Watching sports has been more challenging than usual during the pandemic. Coyote News' Mason Mackey looks into how ticket sales and seating capacity might continue with some of their changes after the pandemic is over.
Located inside the SCSC is a USD athletic ticket office where anyone can grab a ticket for a USD home game.
Any USD student can come to a sporting event and tap their ID on an ID scanner to be allowed into the event with no purchase. Any non-USD student can contact the ticket office to purchase an electronic ticket over email that can be downloaded, printed, or added to their Google Wallet or Apple Wallet. They can also come into the ticket office to purchase a physical ticket if needed.
Once a person secures a ticket, Adam Riley says what the future might hold for USD audience capacity in the fall semester.
If everything goes as planned, we are hoping to have a normal year. Obviously, that can change tomorrow. It can change next week. It depends on COVID. Our number one concern is to keep the public and our student athletes safe at all times. If we feel like we can keep them safe and be able to do 100%, then that's what we'll do.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the max capacity for both the SCSC and Dakota Dome is down to only 40% each with assigned seating. Normally, the Dakota Dome can hold more than 9,000 people, but now it's just limited to just above 3,500 spectators. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Mason Mackey.
Thanks, Mason. The revenue from ticket sales goes directly back to USD Athletics to assist in paying for transportation, meals, and housing. Fall tickets will be available to pick up during the week leading up to the sporting event. Minneapolis was prepared for protests last night, but the city was quiet following a high-profile verdict. Yesterday, Derek Chauvin was found guilty of all charges in the death of George Floyd. Coyote News' Caitlin Sterling is live in the muck with reactions to the verdict in this Minneapolis murder trial. Caitlin?
Thanks, Kyle. I'm here with Cultural Wellness Coalition member Allison Hodgman. Thank you for being here today, Allison.
Of course.
All right, so before George Floyd's death last summer, do you think many people understood the issue of how people of color are treated by authority?
Well, I think that topic was kind of like coming to a head, if that makes sense. I think, George Floyd is not the only person who has been affected by inequality. But up until that point, I think, conversations were starting, but they had not come to a head yet. So I think these incidents, they kind of sparked a conversation, which is really important. But I think the conversation was there. It just hadn't been, held yet, if that makes sense.
So we know that the CWC helped raise awareness with the march last fall. So what plans do you guys, if you have any, coming up?
Yes, so currently right now we're holding a cultural wellness film festival, and that's downtown Vermilion. We've showed several films. I can give you an example here. Last week we just played Crazy Rich Asians. The week before we had Judas and the Black Messiah. So that's just some of the things we have going on right now, but we really plan to kick it up next semester in the fall. We have a lot of good things in the works, and we just update through our social medias. So good things and more things ahead.
Do you remember where you were when you heard the verdict?
Yeah, so yesterday I think I was probably just catching up on homework. I'm a busy student, obviously, but I immediately got the notification on my phone from the big news outlets, and I read it, and I was obviously very relieved to hear the verdict.
Right, was that what you expected at all, or?
I wasn't really sure. So many times in the past, verdicts have not been in favor like that, so I wasn't sure what the verdict was going to be, but it was what I was hoping for.
All right, well, thank you again so much for your time today.
Of course.
Live in the muck with Coyote News, I'm Caitlin Sterling.
Thanks, Caitlin. Following yesterday's verdict, Chauvin was immediately taken to jail. He will be back in court for his sentence hearing in about 8 weeks. Sierra, it looks like the soccer team's season's over.
That's right, Kyle. We're going to have that story and more when we come back.
Hello, I'm Nick Nelson.
And I'm Celeste LaCourciere. I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin. I'm Tel Tanner.
And I'm Molly Spurlick. I'm Aaliyah Burgraff.
And I'm Kyle Ireland.
I'm Delaney Nellis.
And I'm Philip Larson.
I'm Cecilia Gillen.
And I'm Cooper Seamer. We'll get to those stories and more, but first.
But first, we need you to come audition for an on-air or over-the-air position on Coyote News for the fall semester. Come to room 219 in the Al Newharth Media Center on Friday, April 30th, anytime between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Scripts will be provided, and it only takes about 15 minutes. All majors are welcome, so come in and try out. It won't hurt a bit.
Are you interested in being part of a diverse and inclusive community? Spectrum USD provides education and a social outlet for the LGBTQIA+ community on campus and throughout Vermilion. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to learn more.
This is Coyote News.
The This is Coyote Sports. I'm Sierra Prue. USD's soccer team qualified for its second Summit League tournament in school history last week. The Yotes took on Denver in the opening round in Omaha, losing to the Pioneers 2-0 Thursday afternoon. Denver scored 2 opening half goals and held strong in the second half to win. The Pioneers took home the Summit League title Saturday after defeating Omaha 3-0. The Yotes finished the spring season with a 9-win, 7-loss, 1-tie record. The 9 wins tied a program best at the Division I level. To end the season, the 6-game winning streak is another program record at the Division I level. South Dakota softball team played against Kansas City at home for a 4-game weekend series. On Saturday, the Kansas City Roos took Game 1 4-2. USD won the second game 6-4. USD's left fielder Courtney Wilson was 3 for 3 in Game 2 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Camila Fowler singled ahead of Wilson in the 6th inning, scoring a crucial insurance run. The Yotes won Sunday's opener 5-3, but the Roos took the next game 15-7. The 2-2 split keeps USD ranked 3rd in the Summit League standings. Going into the weekend series, the Yotes scored a total of 3 home runs all season. During the 4 games played against the Roos, the Yotes scored a record of 5 home game runs. The Coyotes will face first-place South Dakota State next week in Brookings. USD athletes are being recognized for their academic excellence in addition to their athletics. Last year, 1 Coyote football player qualified for the NFF Hampshire Honor Society. This year, the team raised that number to 6. Coyote News' Caitlin Sterling is live in the muck to find out how it happened. Caitlin?
Thanks, Sierra. I'm here with Caleb Vanderish, the starting wide receiver for the Coyote football team. Thank you for being here today, Caleb.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yes, so you and 5 other members of the Coyote football team have qualified for the NFF Hampshire Honor Society. What does it mean to you being able to achieve this honor with your fellow teammates?
I mean, it means a lot. We got a good group of guys, so being able to represent the team with fellow teammates is an awesome experience.
Sure. All right, so many USD teams have achieved academic honors. To earn this honor specifically, the 6 of you have attained a minimum undergrad cumulative GPA of 3.2, met in all NCAA degree requirements, and have played a role throughout the season on the field. Who do you personally owe this academic and athletic dedication to?
I mean, it has to go to my parents. You know, they've always preached hard work in everything that I do. And my dad with sports definitely was a key figure for me. And then my mom with school, her being a teacher my entire life and whatnot, definitely provided the strength there, and take it from them, 100% goes to them.
All right, so the 6 of you have very different backgrounds and have all different majors. What makes this group of players different than those in the years past?
I'm not sure if there's too much difference. I would say a big difference is that we came in together with this new coaching staff at their first year as well, so we've got to see the progress of the team. So just we're just all friends, so it's just nice to be together, do this together, and see them represented as well.
All right, yeah, and last year only 1 player had earned this honor, and that was last year's season's team captain and starting quarterback Austin Simmons. How has Austin been an impact on regarding this honor for you guys?
Huge impact. I mean, the guy's just built on hard work, and so seeing how he went about his business was a big influence in me. And I tried to imitate him and follow his footsteps, so a huge help for all of us.
All right, and then lastly, if you could give one piece of advice to Yotes and future Yotes, what would you say to them?
One piece of advice, I'd just say enjoy the experience. You know, it goes by quickly. I know everyone says that, but it really is true. So get involved with the community, go to sporting events, go to school events that aren't revolved around anything, really just hanging out. But yes, get involved with the community is my number one recommendation.
All right, yeah, well, thank you again so much for being here today.
Of course, thank you.
Live in the muck with Coyote News, I'm Caitlin Sterling.
Thanks, Caitlin. The 6 players are Jack Cochran, Mason Scheidegger, Tyler Gonzalez, Mason Lorber, Caleb Vanderesk, and Brady Scutt. These men are a part of 910 players from 255 schools who qualified for the honor this year. This weekend, the women's tennis team took on Western Illinois and North Dakota here at home, vying for the 3rd place spot in the Summit League tournament. The Yotes played Western Illinois Saturday at the Dakota Dome courts, winning in doubles with little difficulty. Natalia Kamashkova and Habiba Ali took a 7-5 victory in the number 2 doubles, while Julia Solano and Agustina Diaz took home the number 3 doubles with a 6-3 win. During singles play, the Yotes dominated the court, winning all 6 matches and securing their spot in the Summit League tournament. On Sunday, the Coyotes faced North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks took the doubles, winning number 2 doubles 6-2 and number 3 doubles 6-3. The Yotes fell to North Dakota in single match points. The Coyotes are now 3-2 in the Summit League and will travel to Denver to take on the first place Pioneers on Saturday. That's all for your Coyote sports. Coming up on Coyote News, students told us their plans for the summer.
The Media and Journalism department has opened my eyes to a world of new careers and occupations that I never knew were possible.
I'm an M&J major because I wanted to be a part of something that is important, and whether we realize it or not, media and journalism is around us every single day.
The Media and Journalism department has allowed me to gain pretty hands-on experience and jump right into student media activities.
Hello, I'm Nick Nelson.
And I'm Celeste LaCourciere. I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin. I'm Tel Tanner.
And I'm Molly Spurlick. I'm Aaliyah Burgraff.
And I'm Kyle Ireland.
I'm Delaney Nellis.
And I'm Philip Larson.
I'm Cecilia Gillen.
And I'm Cooper Seamer. We'll get to those stories and more, but first.
But first.
But first.
But first.
But first, we need you to come audition for an on-air or over-the-air position on Coyote News for the fall semester. Come to room 219 in the Al Newharth Media Center on Friday, April 30th, anytime between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Scripts will be provided, and it only takes about 15 minutes. All majors are welcome, so come in and try out. It won't hurt a bit.
This is Coyote News.
Finals are coming up, which means summer is approaching fast.
In this week's Out and About, we asked students what plans they have over the summer.
Here's what they had to say.
My summer plans include just working a lot at the hospital and then sitting out by a pool.
I'm working all summer at Applebee's. I plan to go back to my hometown and just hang out with my parents.
I'm going to work at my grocery store and I'm taking French.
I plan to work this summer along with taking a couple summer classes.
Taking summer classes and working.
Be living in Vermilion, working full time.
I'm planning on going home and working over the summer.
I'm going home and working.
I'm working.
I plan on going home. I might work a little bit and hang out at the lake.
I'm graduating.
It's going to be working a lot, doing a lot of internships.
I have an internship for grant writing this summer, so I'll be doing that.
Working basically the entire time, and I might go out to New York for a little bit.
I'm planning to go home and spend the summer with my family.
To stick around Verm, and I'm actually going to work at the golf course. I'm getting a job this summer at Starbucks, and I'm volunteering at a couple places.
This summer I got an internship in Sioux Falls, so I'm going to live there and do that and have a whole bunch of fun.
Today marks the 50th birthday of USD mascot Charlie Coyote. Many students and alumni took to social media to wish Charlie a happy birthday. One of the first official Coyote mascots was a real Coyote pup, Snoopy, adopted in 1965. Snoopy was born and raised in captivity and purchased by donors when she was only 6 weeks old. This was housed on campus and spent time hanging out with the Coyote cheerleaders. Since his first birthday, Charlie's look has undergone many changes. Now Charlie settled into a muscular coyote that can be seen at nearly all Coyote campus and athletic events. Happy birthday, Charlie. That's all for regular Coyote news. Come back at this time next week for the Red Report.
And watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KAOR and the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.